Greetings and salutations, fellow gamers. Lukey P here with my next episode of Let's Play Supreme Ruler Ultimate as Brazil. So we are picking up from where we left off last time. We will be looking to keep growing our economy, to get ready to start ramping up our research by building some more research plants. And long term we will most likely be looking to conquer most of the South Americas, and depending on what the US does, we may look to go up into the central area, and may look when these countries start getting their independence, look at moving into Africa largely to get the population. But that's all a long way off right now. Let's crack on. And if you remember last episode, we started building this supply area to help out with the rather troubled supply around this area, where we've got these hydro plants which really aren't doing a great deal, and we'll probably then look to move up there and do the same around there. And yeah, so who've we got offering us stuff? So we've got Argentina offering us okay margins on consumer goods, and Czechoslovakia offering us some good margins on that. So let's check all the other things which happened since last episode. So those are fine. And employment's up to 2.3 from 2.2. Construction's complete on our latest military facility, which is that one down here. What we're just going to do is we're just going to rename that to be South Brazil Hydro Supply, just so we know what that particular military facility is for. Okay, yeah, so we're spending 22 million on construction, so without that our economy's balanced. Okay, let's carry on for a bit. We could do some more building, but we're trying to keep inflation at a relatively high level, but of 20%ish. China, yep, fine. So this is just basically ticking over time. There's going to be some complaints about domestic prices being too high, because that's how we're choosing to control our inflation. Mexico have come in for consumer goods, so we'll accept that, because that will help build some relationships with them. Argentina, we'll accept this last one, but if they don't start giving us better margins, we may reject future ones, just to let them know that they can't keep. Originally they were offering us really good margins, and they've just put them down and down and down. War declared. Italy has declared war on Switzerland. That is a little unexpected, and it will be interesting to see how long that lasts, because I imagine the Italian military is a lot bigger, but they've just got to get through those mountain passes, which in the war proper proved a bit of a challenge for them. I actually went to a place called Grenoble, which is in the Alps, not too long ago, and there was a museum about the work the Swiss did in policing the very few number of passes through the Alps, and basically defending themselves against Italian invasion for World War II. So that yeah, that's what happened in the real war. On a computer game, somehow I suspect volume of units may eventually plough through on that, but we will see. So we're getting a lot of good offers in now, and we don't want to be dealing with them all the time. So Czechoslovakia, we're going to auto accept because they've been offering us good deals for a while. Mexico, we will auto accept because that's good margins and they're friendly with us, so they're likely to keep giving us good deals. Czechoslovakia, well, we already just auto accepted that. Argentina, we're going to reject that one on principle. They're only offering us less than 800k profit basically. So let's see if they come back with a bit more now, knowing they can't rip us off all the time with low margins. Yeah. So that airbase finished 10 days ago and I didn't notice. Yeah, this is one of the things, I'm normally a lot more attentive than this, but because we are trying not to blow our inflation cap, which is a little bit different to the way I normally play, if I'm honest. There are, I'm not watching these things like a hawk like I normally am, because I'm waiting to build up a bit of inflation buffer to construction is 753 tons. We must be building a road somewhere because that bridge is still going. That bridge is still going. Let's see if we can get these engineers to help build that bridge and just finish it off. Yeah, there you are. That's going to speed it right up. So while we're doing that, we'll let this tick on because it just, our population's growing. Our inflation's dropping down, which we like. Probably at the point where we want to think about selling some of our oil on the market. So let's just go and see if does London want. I imagine London will happily take 5 million or so. Yep. Germany. Yep. Italy. Haven't got a great deal of money. Might offer them a bit less. Yep. China. 5 million in the bank. Sorry, 5 billion in the bank, I should say. So they're they're not too bad. And Japan, who don't really like us, but you are desperately short of petrol. So let's see if we offer you a little bit what you're willing to match the price. Okay. We don't really want to do that deal. Oh, we overestimated the amount of oil we had. Oops. Okay, so let's offer Italy that much. There we go. We haven't quite finished that bridge yet. 8 days, 5 days, 2 days, bridge finished. There we go. So we've still got some spare industrial capacity, so I think what we're going to do is, given our inflation is at 19% and our unemployment is at 2.3, we are going to build another power plant. Another consumer goods complex. Did I just click the right one? I did. Misclick. think we can cancel that easily enough. That's probably where we're going to want to build next, but on principle I don't want to. There we go, it disappeared, so that's fine. British, French and German leaders have signed the Munich Agreement, which relegates the territory, the Sudetenland territory to German control. Sudetenland by German troops. One of the more controversial things. This is a real historical agreement. It did cede some key parts of Czechoslovakia, the Sudetenland, to Germany. Yeah, I think Italy are going to beat Switzerland in that war. So unlike real life, Switzerland will not be remaining an independent country during World War II. Yeah, so sorry, the Sudetenland, it basically contained a lot of German speakers, and Hitler managed to get them to agitate to be rejoined to Germany. And quite frankly, the Allies didn't really want a war, and it was a policy of appeasement, as it's known, which ultimately cost the UK Prime Minister at the time, Neville Chamberlain, his job and his reputation. He was famously replaced as Prime Minister and called an appeaser, basically meaning he tried to get along with Hitler and gave him too much, and some in Britain held him responsible for World War II outbreaking, thinking a firmer line earlier might have stopped it, which probably isn't fair, but that is how history goes sometimes. So we're just having a little check of what we might do. Is you can see here this river, we haven't really got a crossing in this middle. We can build some electric power, we've got nothing else we can build around there really, so we only need to worry about safeguarding squares where we could perhaps build some hydropower. So there, yeah, those squares basically. So what we can do actually is we can potentially, because these aren't red, you're not going to be able to build many hydro plants there. We can put an air base and a supply depot in one of those cities. Choose that one south of the river. No, actually we should choose that one north of the river because it's slightly closer to the majority of the plants. And yeah, we can build a supply plant and an air base there, and we'll have some river crossings which will help us in the future if we need to move troops around. There you are, Switzerland is eliminated. See what our last trade with Mexico was, that was fine. We've got our group of engineers up here who've done a sterling job sorting that out. I'm just wondering if we want to march them somewhere over here maybe. Probably want to build a road from there to there to improve that supply. How are we doing on our rubber production? Yeah, we're getting to the point where we might need to think about ramping that up. So let's go and see where our rubber plants were we built earlier. So that was here. that was that supply depot we built. So we're going to move them here because we can, just as that's got good supply, these have both got good supply. And if we build a couple of rubber plants there, because it's rubber plantations there, because it's light red, that will help make sure we've got enough rubber. And rubber is something you use to basically support consumer goods. There is artificial rubber in this game, but it is incredibly expensive to produce. So the rubber there is yeah, 196. It wouldn't surprise me if you literally have to put a 0 on the end of that, so you know 10 times what it is. It's really expensive to produce artificial rubber. Much better to grow it on a rubber plantation. Research breakthrough. Let's go and have a look at what else we might want to be researching. So we've got there's quite a lot of okay things actually. Let's go for land force improvements. Actually, we can probably queue a couple of these up because we're making enough money that we don't have to be too worried, and we can just let those research. So we can only research 2 at a time because we've only got 2 research slots, because we get 1 by default, and we've got 1 research plant here in the capital there. So those are finished. That is our new goods and our power supply plant, which means we're now running a slight power deficit, and our goods production will again go up. So what we want to do is build some more power plants. Have a little check on our inflation. Yeah, that's good, and our unemployment is good. So we're able now to build a couple of things without automatically causing our economy a massive inflation bubble. Let me just have a look around for somewhere with goodish supply. That's got pretty good supply, so we are going to build. Let's just move that there, so they're actually on top of it. And we are going to build 3 power plants. And that is because we're a little bit oh, our power's gone up now, so it's balanced. Well, we were a little bit short on power, and that just gives us a little bit of buffer for, you know, various things which might go on. You always want to, it's never a bad thing to have too much power, really, because you can almost always sell it on the open market. That's a good offer from Chile, so we will accept that. What offers have we been accepting? That's good, that's good, that's fine. Yeah. I just wander over to France and see. I don't think they've bought petroleum from us for a while, so they've built themselves a little stockpile from the looks of it. Let's just see if they want to buy a. They do want to buy pretty good margins as well, and they've got a fair amount of money, so we may actually sell them 5 million. Let's look to sell London 4 and a bit million. Let's sell Berlin 4 and a bit million. Yeah, that's fine. Everybody likes oil at this stage of the game. So you can see our treasury is growing nicely now. It's consistently growing. We're putting a nice amount in the bank, and odds are soon we're going to look to build, to start building our research facilities, which will take a long time to build. I'm just looking for somewhere suitable to build them actually. Possibly this X here, the supplies are right there, 92%. I'm not really sure how much difference supply makes with research. It bounces around all the time, doesn't it? That really annoys me when it does that, because I don't really... If anybody knows what does that actually, if you drop a note in the comments, I'd be really interested to hear about, you know, how does it affect it. So it's gone up to 91%. It ticks over a day and drops to 67. So is the calculation done off 91? Is it done off 67? Yeah, I just don't know. What we're going to do actually, which I probably should have thought of earlier, is in helping build this bridge, we're right next to the area we decided to build up our supply. So the supply here isn't too bad because we've got a couple of villages nearby. So we're going to go and try and build an air base and one supply depot. We've done improved military logistics, which I like, because that was the one I think which automatically puts up our where are we? Our infrastructure rating. Yes, that's starting to creep up a bit now, which is, I think, because we've researched it, because we haven't changed that for some time now. So this would be because it's put our infrastructure rating up by 5%, so it's just ticking up 0.1% per day. You can see we're making a bit of a loss here, and that's because we're doing that building there, along with a bunch of bridges, and along with that there. But again, that's not really a problem. We can put these lot back into reserve, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a second lot of the motorized Pyrenees, just because I might want one bunch of mechanized engineers roaming around the south and one in the north, and in future we've got to often my first invasion target will be Venezuela here because of their massive oil supply. But in order to actually get up there, if you look at our supply, you know, a lot of our production facilities are around here. To get up there, you've got to march through this supply dead zone, and a bunch of units will get stuck there. This is a supply dead zone, the border's a supply dead zone. So really I've got to dot air bases and military supplies kind of along that route to help get units to the north if I want to strike against Venezuela, which I probably will at some point, A, for their oil, and B, for their population. Oh wow, we've really not been paying attention for the last few days. So they want me to sell at a loss to them. Not likely, thank you. They're willing to pay a sensible amount. Okay. Canada thinks I need to buy industrial goods at a over 100% markup. So my stock is dropping, but I'm still not that desperate, so no thank you, Canada. Italy also, no thank you. But since you're willing to offer me some Italy, what that normally means is they do it because they're on good terms with us, but they also do it because they're able to, which means we can probably go to Italy and look to clear them out of industrial goods again. And they're willing to sell to us at below their production costs, so that is awesome. So just to show that, so that's 109,000 roughly. If I buy that on the market at, I mean, we looked at this in earlier episodes as well, but for anyone who's forgotten or missed it, that's about 109,000 ish. The price they're willing to do is that price ish, so it's 219 million. and you see here it's 184. So if I buy it off the market, I'd pay 219, which I'm not going to do, because here I can pay 184. So thank you very much, Italy. Let's see if Germany have got excess. No, they haven't. You can see they've not got much of a green bar, so if I try and do this, you watch, they're asked for loads off me. What about the UK? UK's got a bit of a buffer. No, they want a bit too much. Let's see if I went for a lesser amount. No, they still want roughly double. While we're here, we may sell them a bit of oil, just to help improve our relationship with them, because we're only on neutral. It'd be nice to be a bit higher, given the UK do tend to be quite a rich country in this. What about, oh, they're probably short of industrial goods. Yeah, so even though they've got a bit of a stockpile, a larger stockpile than a lot of countries actually, they run at a deficit, so they don't want to be selling their stockpile to us. So let's let that game tick over. Diplomatic offer. China. So China have been offering this. I mean, it's only small, but it's okay. We're going to start auto accepting those Chinese offers. That big drop means that Italy have accepted my request. So there we are. We've now got a nice stock of boosted industrial goods again. Just going to turn off our supply overlay so we don't have to watch the screen be that funny colour all the time. So we finished building up a supply down here. We're building up a supply there. He's coming with an offer. Yeah, that's a good offer. We'll accept that. Our power and coal is finished. The reason that's gone that colour is because we just wouldn't have had quite the amount of coal we wanted available. And you can see now coal is starting to go up. So originally we were mass buying it at 7, it's now gone up to 11, but that said, it's still really cheap. I mean, I'm very happy to buy 100 million off the market, because that's a tiny amount and that will keep us going for a long time. So there we go. So it stayed at 11, and we've really done good on getting that. War, here we go. I thought this would happen sooner or later. Italy have jumped the gun, started World War II early-ish and gone to war with France. So okay, that'll be interesting, because we may find that actually France, I mean, assuming Italy win this, France may end up part of an expanded Italian empire rather than an expanded German empire. So that could be, I mean, this could change things a bit. Put those back into reserve. Diplomatic offer from Russia, the USSR. So you can see there, look at the nice price they're offering us on consumer goods. If it would only stay still. Okay, so they want to give us, they want us to give them 26 million worth of goods, and they're willing to pay us nearly twice that for it. So a smidge under 50 million. You know, directly double would be 52 million ish. But again, great deal, and it comes from keeping a percentage of these goods off the market. How are we on industrial goods? So we are using 212, so we've still got a little bit of buffer. Economy, yeah, inflation's going up because we've been building a bit. What I might do just before I build, before I start building the research plants, which I'll probably build somewhere up there, I'm just going to build and this will put our inflation up, but that's fine. I'm going to build one more power plant, one more industrial goods complex, and one more consumer goods complex. Okay, so that will be expensive, and we'll almost certainly be running at a loss. Yep. Hungary, yep, that's a good deal. We will accept that. Our supply depot down there is finished. Well, let's see. Treaty of Friendship, Germany and France. I'm pretty sure that the outbreak of World War II between Germany and France is a scripted event, so no matter what, I mean, there are conditions for the scripted events, but it's perfectly possible that no matter what happens, Germany will go to war with France. Now, this is interesting. It looks like, I think, of France pushing the Italians back. Yeah. I say that because I did a game before where France rolled over, where the Italians rolled over the French defences and were at Paris within a 6-month period or so. So yeah, maybe this time it's France's turn to win land off the Italians. So our supply down here should be goodish now. It's not amazing, and that's because that bridge isn't finished. Let's finish that bridge and see what that does. Because we've got good supply on this side of the river, and we've got a bridge carrying it over here, but we don't have bridges carrying it over here. Actually, that's just a town, isn't it? It's not a... I don't need to worry about finishing that bridge so much. It's that bridge I really want to finish. This is interesting because they want to trade me industrial goods for consumer goods, but I don't really want that. Argentina, let's see how much money you've got. 600 million, that can buy you a bit. Let's see what the maximum your offer is. 68 million. So what price are you offering? 68 million. 54 million, that's close enough. That's a good profit margin, so we will take that. So we're showing them we're willing to trade with them, but not at silly loss-making margins like what they were trying to offer us. Okay, that bridge is finished now. Is that carrying the supply over any better? Not really, I fear. Okay, well, I mean, 64% is fine. That's 80%. 74. Maybe we do want a second supply depot down here, because that is just 88%. Let's see if that goes up any further. No, it's sticking at 88, so we want a second supply depot down there after all. Okay, well, let's just finish those off. Tick through a day. That's an excellent deal from Venezuela. Excellent deal from Russia. This is all very good. So, our economy should be in balance. We've got a small problem. I'm not quite sure I see what that small problem is. There must have been some temporary disruption there. and maybe to do with, oh, look at that. You can see the price of coal accelerating away. That's why there's a small problem. But we're going to stick that to maximum because that really underpins our whole economy. If we don't have coal, we can't make power and we can't run these two. And you can see the costs of coal running away a bit, which is why it was so good we bought a lot earlier. Let's see, so that's another 100 million, which again isn't much in the context of the money we've got. So let's see how much of that 6.4 million we can clear. And the answer is nothing, because we're slightly below the market price, evidently. Let's go as high as $17. Yeah, so our inflation is back up at 20.4 and our unemployment is back down at 2.2, and that's because in this episode we've been doing a bunch of building. Let's just scout out if that supply has stabilised there, which yes, it looked like it had. Is there somewhere with stable supply I can think about building my research facilities? It doesn't look like it. What about in these places? Have these got stable supply? Yeah, these are jumping all around as well. What you often want to do is look at somewhere which has got about 80%, like that. Around about there will be your next kind of supply node, so an air base or a supply depot. So probably there is where we might build our research facilities, unless this is quite stable. That's quite stable. We might build there actually, because it's got a pre-built military hub and an airfield. So we are out of time for this episode, so I'm going to wrap it up there. We're making good progress, you see, we're making good money. That's our earlier investment in the economy coming to fruition. And yeah, this game is developing pretty pleasingly for me, so it's not quite as good as previous ones I've done, just because of the problems we're having with our inflation and with our unemployment, but those are balanced, and actually finding out how to manage inflation was quite enjoyable for me. So I hope you found this useful and interesting. If you're watching, hope you're enjoying watching the progress we're making with building up our country and our economy. We've done it in a peaceful way so far. We'll probably be doing it in a peaceful way, I'd guess, for a bunch more episodes yet. But at some point we will start looking to ramp up our research, ramp up our military, and start conquering some stuff. But that is probably a fair way away yet. But for now, thank you for watching. I'm Lukey P. Please do comment and give feedback below this video. If you found it interesting, please do like it, and please do subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.